everyone, Daniel here for the Next Issue podcast. Today, we're doing a comic book review. Um, Unfortunately, I was going to do a Marvel title. I couldn't pick one, so we're doing two books. So let's go ahead and get started because I don't want this video to be too long. First up, we're talking about Immortal Hulk The Immortal Hulk: Time of Monsters #1. This book is by a story by Alex Paknadel and Al Ewing, with the script by Alex Paknadel. If you don't know what that means that Al Ewing and Alex collaborated on the main plot, but the actual words and everything comes from Paknadel himself. With art by Juan Ferreyra and letters by Cory Petit from VC Lettering. This is obviously a Marvel comic, and it came out today on May 19th, 2021. This is a standalone one-shot. The reason I wanted to cover this book is because even though I'm behind on the Immortal Hulk, I am very, very cognizant of picking up all these one-shots. They've been very good so far. We had a few. We had one by Declan Shalvey. We had one for King and Black Tyne. So overall, these books are really good. Even if you're not caught up to the story, you can pretty much get into them if you're not up to date with the Immortal Hulk that Al Ewing is doing. So let's get into this one. This one's kind of a flashback to 9,500 BC. We meet somebody in a tribe and a young man named Thomas. They seem to be arguing because the tribe is going through some tribulations. They don't have food, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Thomas plans to leave the tribe to go search off on his own, but obviously this tribe elder does not agree with that decision. So they are kind of arguing about that. Now, they are trying to figure out how to get food for the tribe, but they each have their own way to go about it. And that's when things kind of ensue and it develops. The reason I like the Immortal Hulk is because it's the one book I've read from Marvel that truly feels like a horror book. Not just and that's really shown on Ferrara's art. Like, take a look at this panel. Like, this is stuff straight out of just a horror comic, which is really well emphasized by Petit's lettering. Like, the difference in colors and everything really matches the horror feel and the horror themes that we want from this story. So this was really good. I like that in the art we see these pale tones, nothing super bright. It's very different from a traditional superhero story, but also with some allusions to the superhero story. Like here we see the onomatopoeia, the krakum. That's a classic Hulk smash type of thing. So those are some of the things that just really make me very excited to read one-shots like this. So overall, in this type of book, I really just go for it. I dive in. I don't even think about how far behind I am in the Immortal Hulk. This book does have a little backstory called The Little Fire from David Vaughn and Kevin Nolan. This one's more concise. It's about Hulk, and there's some shenanigans going on at the theater with a scarecrow-looking man, a lot of Wizard of Oz references. It's only a few pages in the back. Also does not really require you to be very much caught up with the story, but it's fun. And that's kind of what I really just want out of any comic, really, but Hulk comics in particular. I want Hulk doing shenanigans. As you guys know, or you may not know, the Immortal Hulk, whenever Bruce Banner dies at night, the Hulk brings him back. And that's been kind of that's the selling point of this whole series. Like, anything but that's just like the starting point. There's so much more. But yeah, this book was a lot of fun. I would give it a 4.5 or even a 5, really. It was just that much. But overall, gets a thumbs up. I recommend you pick it up if you haven't already. The other book that was really tied with this is Shang-Chi #1 versus the Marvel Universe. So this book picks up after the events of the last miniseries, where Shang-Chi just kind of became the supreme commander of the Five Weapons Society. But now he's trying to figure out a little balance in his life and in the society, being the Supreme Commander, um, while being a superhero still. But his siblings, especially in this issue, Esme, aka Deadly Dagger, um, they she just kind of wants him to really be responsible, whereas Shang-Chi has different plans for the organization. He doesn't really want the organization to exist. Um, but when they track down a new drug that kind of makes these hybrid beast type monsters, they end up crossing paths with Spider-Man. So the first issue, um, it's kind of like subtitled Shang-Chi versus Spider-Man. Um, this one also, like, the reason I had problems picking between these two is because not only do they both have characters I really like and I want to get more into, but they're both very good. The art is very different here. I guess I should have mentioned Shang-Chi. This one is written by Gene Luen Yang, illustrated by Dike Ruan, color by Triona Farrell, and letter by VC's Travis Lanham, also by from Marvel Comics. So let's start with the art here. Um, One of the things I appreciated the most that Ruan and the team were doing, um, that each of the main characters, Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and Esme, like they have their own way of approaching things, as you'll see on this one. Like Spider-Man, you have the acrobatics. Shang-Chi light on his feet, evading the bullets. Like they both have their own approach of being superheroes. I don't have a shot of it, but Deadly Dagger is like the stealth character. She's very nimble. She's very hard to pin down. Um, so that's really good. But then we get to the when we get to the conflict of it, um, we really want to know like where, you know, it starts off like trying to tell you that it's going to be maybe a hero versus hero comic, but it quickly subverts that trope into the real issue, which is finding those drugs and getting them off the street. As the team kind of goes on to do that, they have some issues, and that's where everything kind of ensues. This is really kind of a setup for this whole Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe thing that looks to be the main topic here. But overall, I really enjoyed it. We're kind of left off with this question of, is Shang-Chi still one of the superheroes? Right. So that's an excellent setup for the series, because the Five Weapons Society historically has been like a villain organization. Shang-Chi's father, that we see in the comics, is leader of the Ten Rings, which is kind of like the analog for the Weapons Society. The analog for the Weapons Society. Um, yeah, so Shang-Chi's conflicted by being split up between these two worlds. Overall, it's fun. It's a good setup for whatever this new story is we are looking into. I like what they've been doing with Shang-Chi. The first miniseries kind of brings you back and explains who he is and establishes his current status quo. We got a little one shot that expands more on his mythology, and now we actually are inserting him back into the Marvel Universe to tell a story. So yeah, it's been great reading Shang-Chi, and I look forward to more of this stuff. Overall, this one would also get probably a 4.5, but here's a thumbs up. Go pick this up. If you are one of those people that like to trade weight, I would recommend you trade weight this one. If you don't like waiting week to week, because you will have to wait, or month to month, because you will have to wait. But if you kind of rotate through your series like I do, where you read one and then just kind of move on to the other, go ahead and pick this up. So that's all I have. 2 comics. Go pick them up both. Yeah, check your local comic stores. These both came out on May 19th, 2021. So thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. We have some more videos this week, more movie reviews, more trailer reactions. more comic reviews if I get to read some more this week. It all really kind of depends. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a good day.